Wow, good morning. It's a lovely cup of tea here. Hi, my name is Mariah Afolabi Brown. Welcome to Your View. I have my lovely co-host here with me. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
We have Cyril in the building. How are you doing, Cyril? Let me start with you. How was your weekend?
Oh, very, very, very beautiful. Except that, something, when news came in that they had postponed the polls, it dampened my
I know, it's
my
all over
mood
the paper,
again.
so we'll have time to talk about that.
Of course.
How did you spend the weekend? What did you do?
Well, one thing, I went to church, I visited a couple of friends.
You're single, right?
Of course I am.
So are you dating anybody?
No, I'm not.
How you should be dating. So this journalism work is not right.
I did the Bible and the Constitution.
Hey,
Don't start. Don't start. Okay. So when you're ready to eat your dinner, ask the Bible to come and cook dinner for you. but you're still just.
And the Constitution, like I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
So,
women aren't just for cooking dinner.
Okay. Well, let me. What I meant was that if you say that he's
I
ready
know
to
what
buy
you
food
meant.
and
Why
continue.
I know what you meant.
Okay.
Why you always say?
All right. Don't worry. She's actually not crazy now. Very soon. Hey, Nimat, how you doing?
I'm fine.
How is
Mama
the
had
front?
a
I love your
very,
lipstick.
very fun-filled weekend.
I wish I
Went
could say the
to
same.
3 weddings.
Wow.
My husband's first, his schoolmate's wedding, so it was like a reunion for him. And I decided to go to my own schoolmate's wedding,
Aww.
a reunion for me before we went to a family friend's wedding.
Oh.
We just catch
Only
up.
one Saturday.
One Saturday.
Ha.
All
Did
in
you do
Ikeja. They were all in
Ashebis?
Ikeja. I actually didn't do Ajetunmobi.
Just carried your.
We just went to
That's
catch
good.
fun.
Giamake, Jumzo.
I follow in the path of Cyril this morning. I had an eventful weekend until the postponement of the elections, which sort of dampened the weekend for me. But the weekend was restful. I went exercising on Saturday. I went shopping yesterday. We thank God.
When last did I go shopping? God help me. I can't even remember the last time I actually shopped.
It's
I went
my-
shopping yesterday.
You went shopping too? Fantastic. God help me.
Because we're restocking the house, so
Okay, that's true. Your new house.
yeah. And
Who has moved into her new house?
Oh, I saw the house. I saw the house on
I took Jumoke and YK,
YK
there
on
Friday. Or was it Friday or Thursday?
Thursday.
On Thursday. But
beautiful environment.
It's not been easy. No, fantastic. It's a beautiful environment. That one I can, mashallah, God bless you. But the truth is, it's not easy actually moving. The stress of moving is not fun. And I couldn't find my iPad, but thank God, I saw my iPad today.
Yeah, good. I had a very, very busy weekend. Saturday, I was shopping up. My brother-in-law is getting married, so I'm like the senior
Yeah,
wife kind of thingy. So I'm the one carrying around Lagos looking for Ashwebi and kind of like, oh gosh, gotta do this. On Sunday, family members, 12 adults. I had to feed them in my house. Man, the joy of waifu, and motherhood.
Waifu and motherhood.
Interesting.
Jumoke?
Wait.
I hope you're learning.
Did you have to cook for all of them?
I had to do amala, at least a ton amala. After that, somebody said, I want plenty amala. I'm like, I'm sure you do. I'm telling them, after I finished and I thought I was done for the day, that was at 5 p.m. Someone else said, 8 o'clock. So anything I got there, amala.
Of course.
Of
course.
Please excuse you.
Of course.
They
5 p.m. isn't dinner. They have to
in my house, that's dinner.
You're saying Tesh, you're
I was
getting ready, right?
I was like, tell what? I'm like, you want to play some plantains, please?
Give her tips.
sorry.
So better get ready.
I've been costing chefs how much?
Yes, but it was
Better
joy.
wake up.
Was a joyful period for me because they are family.
Yeah,
Family. No
it's
matter
always
what,
fun to
it's always
have
fun to have
family
family around.
around.
So I had a great time. So just in case they're watching, I'm not upset.
It happens once in a while.
You can come maybe in 3 months' time. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go to the front pages of the newspapers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, let's start with Punch. Yes, we're all a bit dampened spirit today because of this whole postponement. But let us start with the Punch. I had to start with that low tone because we're not happy. US, UK, Buhari, ACF condemn poll delay. You can see the picture of Ivory Coast crowned African champions after dramatic final. Enough not done to free Chibok girl, says Malala's father. 17 killed in Osun auto crash. Gunmen kidnap ex-governor Dariye's father. Nigeria facing major economic crisis. We'll talk about the poll delay later because all over the papers. But I'm happy for Ivory Coast. Anybody watch the match?
I watched the match. It was fantastic.
And of course, it was a repeat of what happened in 1992, you know, in the finals when Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana again squared up. But incidentally, there was a twist in, you know, in the historical process, because in 1992, what happened was Ghana was without Abedi Pele, but Michael Basile was there for Cote d'Ivoire, and they won. He was on penalties, about 11 kicks. Then last night, Didi Drogba wasn't there for, you know, for but Jan was there for Ghana. And then again, the table turned after about 10 or so kicks. So, well, it was just like
fantastic victory for them.
I'm excited for Ivory Coast.
Let's talk about this gunman kidnapping Darius' father, because, as I said, the other story is all over the papers.
So 9 gunmen stormed the octogenarian's house around 7:30 p.m. on Saturday night and started shooting sporadically in the air. And in all of the confusion, they went away with ex-governor Darius' father on top of a motorcycle. And the Punch says they are demanding $10,000 ransom. That's about 2.2 million, 800, 2 million and
100 million naira,
yeah.
200 million.
I'm not sure that figure is correct.
Maybe it's 100, but Punch says $10,000.
All right, let's move on to the nation. Major headline: Jonathan, service chiefs under fire over polls shift. Buhari be calm, but resolute. The US, UN, ASU, TUC disappointed Falana alleged treason. Sorry. More details of how Ekiti election was rigged coming. And I think those are the major headlines. Okay, did you guys read the recording? This more.
We didn't read.
Sorry,
we heard.
Sorry,
I read the transcript.
But some of them read the transcript. Fashola said Fayose, Obanikoro, others can't deny their roles. Because Obanikoro was saying it recently that he was doctored.
That was doctored. I listened to him on radio Saturday, and he was saying that the video was a doctored. I mean, the audio. Recording. Yeah, it was a doctored that he has never participated in rigging. I said, okay, really? Okay, that he had never participated in rigging, and that allegations is doctored and all that.
But anyway, I heard the SoundCloud recording of this alleged rigging tape, and it was shocking to say the least. Now, there was a lot of confusion, but they called each other's names. Koro, His Excellency, addressing Fayose, because he was very upset that I will not agree that the military were disarming their policemen. And then somebody said in Yoruba, I hope that the military men haven't taken money from the opposition. Yeah. And then somebody else now said, they have to allow the general go because they must be monitoring. Well, if it is doctored.
All right. We have to be very careful, because the truth is that we're not sure how true it is.
No, he has come out to say that it's not true.
So there are still allegations, but you're just saying based on the recording you read.
Hopefully they will also bring more of the details so that maybe we can help.
Let's move on to the next paper. Vanguard, polls postponement, criticisms mount. INEC was ambushed by federal government, PDP, says Fashola. Conducting polls in a hurry is dangerous, says Abagana. It's a disappointment, says United States. It's a coup against the Constitution, says Festus Okoye. Coup against Constitution by security, as Falana talked about that. Presidency shops for Jega's replacement. May 29th, handover date sacrosanct, says Jonathan. Ivory Coast wins. Okay, now let's talk about this postponement. I know that everybody's itchy to express their views on this matter. And we'll link it up with the presidency shops for Jega's postponement, because people are saying that that's probably one of the reasons why it was postponed. But let me go to Cyril's comments on this first.
I will take you to a little less than 40 years ago, when in 1978, Chief of Government Awolu was contesting for the 79 presidency. And because he had seen the antecedents of the Nigerian establishment, Chief made it clear that, look, if Nigeria wanted to get it good for the first time, as I then know, that the United Nations should nominate the field workers for FEDEC as it was then known, and that the chairman of the Indian Electoral Commission should come to Nigeria to run the polls. He knew that, because the Nigerian establishment and government always knew how to intimidate and sponsor pressure and to mount, and to bring its clout to bear, to always make things turn in its own direction. And that's what we have clearly seen. The service chiefs are brought up a report, and they have told INEC clearly that they cannot or will not.
They cannot guarantee.
They will not.
Security.
Let's just say
And the question we're asking is this. what we've not been able to do in 2 years, in 3 years, in
6
4
years.
years, how are you going to achieve it in 6 weeks? Because for me, what remains to be seen is that the suspension or of the elections is a gambit. You know, if you play chess, there's always the first act. But what more are they now going to do? Because for me, it looks as if the postponement of the election is just the first
there's
act.
an argument.
There seems to be that something bigger is
Exactly.
is in the offing.
Yes.
And that is what Nigerians must demonstrate. You know, the maturity with which we've taken the postponement is good. I want to hope and pray that we are also able to, you know, bring our tact and humanity to bear in seeing this process through, you know, as it should be legally.
Okay.
Right.
Let me go to
For me, in INEC's defense, I see Jega as someone that has been cornered. He knows what he's doing. He said he will go ahead with elections February 14. He was ready, and he was putting everything in the works to see that the issue of PVC, one of the issues raised by these people was that some people had not gotten their PVCs, that these PVCs will be distributed. Now the question is, if the security chiefs are saying they can't guarantee security, are they saying that the displaced people in Borno and all Yobe states, they'll be back in their villages and in their houses in 6 weeks? Are they saying that, you know, the northerners that, you know, that they're moving,
Jega shopping,
south?
President is shopping for a replacement for Jega. You know, I took a quote out from the readings. They said Jega has been described by the hawks around the president of being too independent-minded and uncooperative, despite being given the job on a platter of gold by the president's men. I don't understand what they
That's confirming what the US is saying.
But what I am saying is that don't we need someone that is truly independent of whoever is ruling or whoever is desperate? I mean, this is the best candidate, because if the president is truly shopping for another INEC chairman, then it gives me a lot of worry, because if a new person, if peradventure he truly replaces Jega, a new person will come and tell you that this PVC, they don't trust the credibility. This one, they will start bringing up all sorts of stories. Then all the money that maybe must have been spent on these elections would go down the drain, and the new
The truth is that we spend more money.
The presidency should not even think of replacing Jega. They can allow his tenure to end in June, and they cannot look for somebody else.
But now, my only worry is that this postponement, to whose benefit is it? Is it the PDP? Is it the ruling party? Is it the electoral? Is it INEC? Who exactly benefits? What exactly is PDP's game plan with this new 6 weeks? Aside from the issue of the military, the reason they're giving to us one thing, but what exactly is their game plan? Do you know?
I asked my man yesterday, who does this benefit? If somebody is going to win the elections, he will win it even if you postpone for 6 months. And he says that if, for instance, the PDP is thinking that their machinery isn't oiled properly. Yes. They need time to oil their machinery. Because if you look at the political landscape, it seems like Buhari has gained a lot of support. And going to the polls this Saturday, it is almost obvious that they may lose. So they need some time to, if this guy is not going to work for us, we need to replace him. We need to also go to the courts.
Uncooperative.
All right. Now let Cyril come in here, because now you brought up something that is really interesting. Now they need time. What exactly is this time for? Because now there's some people saying, there's an argument going on today, is that this recording we heard in Ekiti, it's possible that that's the smaller scale version of what's been tried to be duplicated nationally. That are they going to use the military to try to quote unquote these elections? What are your thoughts on that?
The micro and the macro, right? If you remember, in Zorgo and his cohorts, who staged the first coup in Nigeria, you know, in 1966, those are the same soldiers that were used to, shall I say, rig around the elections in, you know, it was in 1964, 65 or so. Now, the point is that electoral security should be the function of the police, and at most the NSCDC or mobile police force. But because, you know, our security apparatus across the board has been compromised and has been weakened, you know, in terms of acting as state infrastructure, we now always have to resort to bringing in the army. And now they've told us that they've taken the whole nation hostage. For me, you know, the bigger picture is not even whether it benefits PDP or APC. The truth of the matter is that 6 weeks is enough to change a lot, Auntie Moriah. It is enough. Let me
pause you there, because that's our hot topic. Let's not talk too much about it, but 6 weeks is a lot to change, to swing votes.
Of course.
Right?
Because a lot of people are undecided, if you know the truth.
Yes. So 6 weeks is a lot to swing votes. Let us take a pause. When we come back, we're still going to address this issue of postponement. I want to hear your thoughts on it also. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're still talking on this postponement of elections, and we're still trying to hear people's views. You can call us on 070-8066-8014, or you could tweet to us at your view. What are your thoughts on this postponement? How did it affect you? A lot of people were downcast over the weekend. I mean, people felt that they were really ready, geared up to vote. Yes.
Mariah, now Cyril said that 6 weeks is enough time to change, oil your machinery if that's what
right.
you want to do.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
guess what? All the PDP supporters that I have on social media over the weekend were so disappointed that they're saying, this seems like desperation on the part of PDP. If you're going to hold us hostage like this, and they say, you know what, we're going to the other side.
So it might actually work against them.
It might work against them. The people who support you are now seeing desperation on your
But
side.
the people that I know were
Yes.
pretty excited. Like, oh my God, yes, we need time. I'm like wondering, what the heck?
Time to do what? Exactly.
That's my question. Time to do what?
Can I say
Yes.
that for me, what are the implications for the postponement of this election? A friend of mine traveled yesterday, on Saturday morning, very early to go and pick up her children because the school had called that they needed to go and pick up their wards and bring them home till after the elections. Now, they are distorting a lot of things. The reason they brought out first was PVC. When they saw that PVC wasn't holding water, now the service chiefs now came out to say that they cannot guarantee security. Now, we've seen consistently over time that the people that are incompetent and they cannot handle their job, our president fails to sack those kind of people. Because if, for instance, Sanusi came out and said 20 billion was missing, instead of you to hold the person that he's accusing of 20 billion, you sacked the guy. Now, the service chiefs have come out to say that they cannot guarantee security. Who are you supposed to be shopping for new positions? Is it not the service chiefs? I suppose the Jega has all these reasons that they have given. Have they proven that Jega is incompetent to handle? Wait now, have they proven that Jega is incompetent to handle these elections? The answer is no.
It's not a fact yet that they are shopping. It's just speculation.
It's speculation.
We're not sure if they're actually shopping.
In Nigeria, we've heard speculations that became reality. So we shouldn't take chances. Okay. I am saying that the problem we are having in this country is leadership, and we see it play out even in this thing. Elections took it. I mean, we started this date was chosen a long time ago.
Last year.
And all of a sudden, you now decide that you want to distort things. Are they going to pay back all the political parties, all the money that they have spent? What are they going to do? I mean, how is this going to affect?
Let me come to the money. Let me come to the money.
Haven't lost money now.
Because the truth is that, they might not have lost money, but they're going to spend more money.
Yes.
If they are planned to end publicity by this week.
Yes.
Now, additional 6 weeks.
Yes.
Now, are we saying that opposition, for example, now is thinking, where am I going to get the money from? But the ruling party probably has other access for money. So let me hear this serious position on this.
Like I was saying before the break, yes, the parties are going to be losing momentum, some are going to be losing, some are going to be winning. But the point of that I personally even hold dearest to my heart is the common man on the streets. Wedding dates have been shifted, to suit.
Of things.
Family calendars have been things have been postponed. Everybody has just we are just waiting for 14 to come and go. And all of a sudden you made a pronouncement that alters the whole social mood in the nation. These people just don't care because the election is not even about them; it's about us.
Yes.
It's
At the end of the
coup
day,
against democracy. Do you agree?
If it is not a coup against democracy, what else? Should it be? The kite that they're flying is that what is sacrosanct is May 29. What election days can always change. Yes, it can always change, but on what basis is this change coming?
Security.
We had them talking about 2 battalions coming from Uganda and Chad and Niger and all of that, but this resurgence against the insurgents, how far? What I would have loved the service chief to do is to say, okay, within the 6 weeks that that has now been given, we expect that a minimum security situation of this kind is what we are going to create. Because 6 weeks comes, if we are still in this same quagmire, what are we going to do? Postpone again for another 6 months?
Mariah,
Which is
my
possible.
issue on security is that which security apparatus secures elections and polling units? The police. Have they come out to say that we don't have enough men to secure the polling units?
No,
the army chiefs are telling us that because there are 4 states on fire. No. These 4 states have been on fire for 6 years.
Okay. Remember they didn't use the police for Ekiti. they use this same military. So they're not trying to use the police.
we condemn that as
You're saying it's the whole nation,
militarization. The
though.
exact same thing we heard on that tape about them using the military against the police.
Whatever asked, Jega
They
asked
don't
for the
have
military
enough army men to police
to secure the entire
elections all over
Let me
Nigeria.
take a Lukoya's call. Good morning, Lukoya. Good morning. Are you there?
Yes, I'm talking to you
Please
now.
go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
Saleh has just tried to set it right when he mentioned that these people, security chiefs, cannot tell us that they cannot ensure the protection guaranteeing of lives and property during the election. If they can't do that, then they should be fired. For goodness sake, why do you put the inefficiency people? Anyway, the government is mixed up with inefficient people in the cabinet and everywhere. So therefore, Nigeria must move forward. Nobody should hold us to ransom. This is a script that is going from the federal government. They actually realize the PVC issue cannot fly at all. Then they are now coming, asking the security chiefs to say, we can't do this. Then in an ideal situation, why don't you bring the ask US to give us security for the election?
Thank you very much.
Why must you, if the Nigerian security are not inefficient, why can't we get from other places? Good morning.
Thank you very much, Lukoya. Now, let me come to Cyril for a second. I remember during the 1993 elections with MKO. It was peaceful. People assumed there would be a lot of violence, but actually people came out in mass because they already made the decision on who to vote for. There are some optimists in this they're saying it's actually not going to be as violent as we expect it to be. That Nigerians have actually decided. A lot of people, yes, they're undecided, but a lot of people already have an idea who they want. So people were ready to shock the federal government, saying, you know what, I know who I want to vote for and I will vote for that person. Was it that Jega overestimated or underestimated the Nigerian people? Think that, oh, we need military, because maybe he was going to actually brought this upon himself, saying I need military assistance. Maybe he didn't necessarily need the military assistance. Do you think it was necessary to have the military assistance in these elections?
Well, I would say yes. The reason being this, the political figureheads gathered in Abuja, was it 2 weeks ago or some weeks ago, to sign a peace accord. But we saw that after these big wigs signed the accord, their foot soldiers threw caution to the wind, and you saw the mudslinging in the papers. You saw the propaganda machines have not stopped. It's the propaganda that leads to actual violence, and we saw that, and we've seen that there are still pockets of violence in Rivers State, in Imo, in Abia, and other places. So it's a sad narrative that, unfortunately, because over the years we have not taken the police as seriously, and to actually put them where they should be. Inevitably, you need the army to be doing this basic internal security for you. So it's not even peculiarly about the elections per se. It's just about the fact that we don't have what it takes to
Let me take this call from Ubong. I don't want to lose this call. Good morning.
Hi. Morning. I just want to say this. I don't know why you guys are busy getting yourselves worked up. It's so glaring that this is from the federal government. They actually want this election postponed so that they can have all the time they can to rig this election. That's the only pointer I can see from all of this. And I just want to ask a question. I don't know how you guys can get across to anybody from INEC. I want to find out, because I wasn't in the country when this registration was going on. I want to find out if this postponement will actually involve registration where I can register, if they will take me registration.
Okay. That's a good
That's
question.
what I want to find out.
All right, we'll definitely bring somebody from INEC to let us know that now they're extending for 6 weeks. Can we still re-register or register first for those?
I think the window was closed, but in any case, I don't see that happening, because if you look at our electoral history, you are talking about the 1993 elections. We had 88 million people in Nigeria then, but how many people voted? Less than 20 million. About 12, between 12 and 16. So even in 2011, we had out of about 100 and something million, actual votes cast and counted, we are just about 39.5. So I mean, it's getting more people to vote is not really the issue. If that were the issue, we would have registered, because if the CSO went to London and said people are not taking PPs enough, but they came back and saw that that cat wasn't going to fly. So what we need is no more numbers. What we need is the structural arrangement that can take Nigeria from where she is to where she ought to be.
I'll take Felix's call, but Anima, do you think this thing will work against, just like Jumoke said, this whole postponement, do you really think it's going to work against the PDP?
Of course, and what I fear most is that they didn't postpone the elections. The fear I had yesterday was they didn't postpone these elections to rig. They might have postponed these elections to further postpone because the reason they cited, which is security, will not disappear overnight.
Let me take Felix's call. Come on in, Felix. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, please, the issue of Postpnes. And there's one thing I want you people to understand in this country. When Zega was addressing the press, one of the president asked the question, where is the security chief that said that the security is on people elections?
I can't hear him.
I want you people to understand one thing. This is a country that the federal government will tell you that this thing is happening, and later somebody will come up and say, I didn't tell you. Remember the issue of Boko Haram when they said that they had a truce or they had a meeting with the Boko Haram that they were going to be ceasefire.
Yes.
But later the Boko Haram that there's nobody with them. Then I want to assure you that if pressure, some of these security chiefs will still come up one day and tell Nigerians that nobody discuss any issue with the federal government or island that they suppose that the security situation of the country will not allow election to hold. I just believe that all these things just began there from Jonathan and PDP men just to say that they can plan ahead and rig the election.
All right. Thank you very much.
I was so disappointed in this country, in Nigeria, that this is a decision that we Nigerians should go to the streets and demonstrate that this thing we don't want it. We are just too callous in this country. All these are niggas, all these are people. We are just too afraid. And we don't know what it is. This clinical thing doesn't happen in other countries. They go to the streets.
Yeah.
Look at what happened at India. The last election in India, when the government realized that it was losing the election, he called the country chief that take up the government. They told him to say that, look, we are not taking any government. You've lost this election, leave.
All right. Thank you so much, Felix. Yes,
For me,
go on.
I think there's a lot of mediocrity, there's a lot of, what's it called, insensitivity and lack of emotions for everything that is going on. Now, look at we are forgetting even the economic sector. Exactly. A lot of companies, my husband's, the company he supplies to, they have decided not to change their currencies because they collect in hard currency because they are afraid of the elections. A lot of companies have stalled production, they've stalled work, they've stalled everything. The economic implication for us not even holding this election is another angle that even the federal government is refusing to see. The truth is that if you know that your work, you have done the transformation that you feel that is enough for Nigerians to re-elect you, then why are you afraid? Because I feel that it's just the fear that someone else is gaining more ground than you. That's why we are postponing these elections.
Before you come to Cyril, the truth is that I'm trying to find the right word to say without being offensive. If the federal government says today, you know what, we're going to postpone this election, or say tomorrow we're going to sack Jega, or tomorrow something happens, nothing's going to happen.
Something should
Without
happen.
impunity, nothing will happen.
Something should happen.
If PDP says, you know what, or the ruling party says, you know what, we don't want this election to go on, we want to even postpone it indefinitely, do you know that this Nigeria that we know, nothing will happen?
Because nobody will come out and fight.
Yes.
The casus belli that is going to create the platform for the ruling Kwango to actually perpetuate electoral fraud in this nation in this year is when, I hope you know that they've released the card readers. It is easy for, now that, and they've released it hoping that election is going to take place on the 14th of February.
Exactly.
Once they can clone this thing, because as you know, and I mean we are all human beings. I mean in Nigeria, once they like you said, once they can clone this thing,
that's it.
It is gone. It is how do they put it? Done to dust and kicked to powder, something like that. It's done and dusted.
Well, the good thing is that I know that GMB warned everybody that listen, everybody's upset. But
stay calm.
No, we are not.
No violence.
Stay calm.
Everybody should just stay calm and
Stay
just
calm.
hope. We hope
No
that we
violence.
get justice.
No violence.
Come March 28th,
Well, I want our leaders to focus on what's it called? Good governance and not personal. Because with all this thing that is happening, it just shows that this is more of a personal. What's it called?
All right, we have to take a quick break because we're running out of time. When we come back, still on this issue, we're going to have another expert share his own views on this matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, Nigeria, as you know, is postponing presidential and legislative elections until March 28th because of security. The security forces fighting Boko Haram extremists cannot ensure voters' safety around the country. Now, what are the implications of this postponement? Joining us to shed more light on this is a legal practitioner and a member of the Lawyers of Change, Mr. Dave Ajetunmobi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's my pleasure to be here.
You've been hearing us have this conversation already, and I'll let you respond. But before I let you respond, I want you to read some tweets so you can feel the pulse of Nigerians on this issue, and then you can respond. Let's start with Nima, please.
Miles Dami says, I don't think there's anything tangible there's no tangible reason for postponing the elections. It only shows that they want to rig elections then. And Marshall Foster says, instead of tackling the insurgency, they are busy dancing at rallies. Now that they want 6 weeks to perpetrate their fraud, we are watching. And Ibrahim Lawa says, the case of elections in Nigeria is a sorry state. We know they are acting their scripts, but change can only be delayed. It can't be averted.
Sheila Kamim Ado says, the ruling party and the president just postponed the elections to allow for electoral fraud, not cause of security. Oyekanta Tobanyo King says, if you want to use 6 weeks to fight Boko Haram, bring back the girls and fight corruption. We'll see. At least we waited for 6 years. Allah Lobo. If the service chiefs can't secure us during elections, then we should forget the return of the Chibok girls. This is absolutely sad. And Tosin Duro Dollar says, if the shift is about the uneven distribution of PVC, it may be fairly reasonable, but for security reasons, it's an act of inefficiency.
Zeal says, this election period is a funny time. So many evil acts going on. Though I don't like the postponement, but I think INEC knows best. Falilat Olayode says, I believe in the saying that what will be, will be. Let them move it till December. God's will shall prevail. Taj Kamal says, the service chief said on 2nd of February that they were ready for elections. What has changed since then to warrant postponement? Bisala says, a government that has not performed and yet is ready to impose himself on us. What a shame.
Okay, all right. So you've heard people saying, obviously, they're not happy about this postponement.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this postponement?
Well, my thought is the ruling party just want to use it as a leeway to be able to gather their rigging machinery together. They thought, as it used to be, that General Buhari would just be a walkover. But the truth is that even Buhari registered CPC within 4 months, it was able to garner 12 million votes. Now that the man is well equipped, supported by the intellectuals from the West and the heavy party machinery in the West, with his court followership in the North, the man is seen and is actually unstoppable. Their lack is conducted poll. They lost. At that point, they started to face the reality that the journey to Otoke has commenced. So they discovered that within that short time, there's nothing they can do to check the journey back. So that is why they had to blackmail INEC to
All right,
postpone.
there is an allegation going on concerning the Ekiti elections of the rigging. This vis-a-vis this recording we heard. We're not sure the validity of this recording. We're still trying to figure that out. But if peradventure that this indeed happened, people are now saying that could this be replicated nationally, such that they print out the ballots. So somebody saying that, oh, they duplicate ballot papers across border, get the military to start arresting
The
opposition here and there. You know, do you think this is possible? And if it is, how do we citizens ensure we minimize rigging to the minimum?
You will discover that even the international community is interested in Nigerian election.
Yes.
If President Obama can send the Secretary of State when the issue of postponement was first mooted, if you read the views of American leadership about the current leadership of Nigeria, you will be ashamed that Nigeria has declined to that level of having this type of intellectually bankrupt human beings in government. Because at least we are the backbone of Africa. We have intellectuals of repute here. But the type of people that are ruling us now, they condone anything. Anything.
Sir,
Okay.
Afghanistan and Iraq has insurgency. Like Mr. President has said, Nigeria is not the only country with insurgency. But they had elections peacefully in those countries, and they had a government overthrown. What is different in Nigeria, in the Nigeria Boko Haram thing, that that warrants this shift?
Well, the issue is that you can't even, when you talk of insurgency, you say, yes, there's insurgency in Afghanistan, there's insurgency in Iraq. You can't refer to these people as insurgents. They are just bunch of bandits. They are just bunch of bandits. You see, I was at a forum where General met the business community at the State House. He was saying that Nigeria fought the civil war without borrowing a dime. We are now fighting area boys. We are borrowing $1 billion. That really sank into me. That means we have a serious problem in this country. The people that are ruling us don't really care about how we feel or how we are faring, but they are only particular about remaining in power. Because
Okay, sir. For every disadvantage of this postponement that we see, there's also an advantage. One, more people can go and then collect their PVCs. Secondly, because they have stated this for security reasons, we will see that they must be fighting the insurgency. But thirdly, how can the Nigerian populace make sure that whatever rigging machinery is being oiled, if there's any such thing, that it doesn't change the will of the people come the new dates for elections?
Well, I think Nigeria should realize that the pastor that will pray for a madman must not pray with his eyes closed. Since we now know them from the revelation of Captain Colley, we will now, Nigeria election for the first time in history is being fought both on the ground and at the IT level. So Nigerians are more and more aware about their right and how they can circumvent this. The station conducted a poll online. They came out after their candidate lost to say, well, the opposition hacked into it.
Yes,
but
IT.
an expert printed out the details and highlighted how the station fraudulently manipulated it to accuse the other side. So they have to do more to overpower the will power of millions of Nigerians. Nigeria of 2011 that voted for the shoeless man will not vote for the son of shipbuilder this time around.
Sir, for what we saw in the newspapers today, especially was it Vanguard or Daily Sun, saying that the PDP have two things that they want to do. One is to change Jega and bring in the brother of one of their state governors. The other one is to go to court and make sure that the opposition, Buhari, is disqualified from the elections. If these two things peradventure happen, where do we go from there?
Well, the issue is, I believe they still have enough sense to remember that some years back it was predicted that Nigeria would disintegrate
in 2015. Wisdom.
So all we are seeing now, these are the symptoms tending towards that. So all of us, we have the duty and responsibility to ensure that Nigeria does not disintegrate.
Let me take this call, Adam. Adam.
Yeah, Adam.
Good morning, Adam.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, please go ahead.
Please, I'm calling from Ogba.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this election, I don't know why they will postpone it. Yes, I don't know why the reason that they should postpone the election. But it's unfair.
Okay, they said security reasons. Did you read that? They said security reasons. Are you aware of that? Okay, let me start.
I don't know. For me, what are the implications? Like, for instance, now, if peradventure the presidency is still shopping and Jega for maybe tomorrow is changed and replaced,
resigns,
what will be the implication on the elections that that they are proposing for March 28th?
Well, changing Jega may not necessarily be as easy as you think.
Why?
It is a constitutional issue.
No, you cannot go on a leave now. 3 months before
especially at this critical time, and people have predicted it.
Okay. In Nigeria, the law.
Anything can happen.
Some people are above the law. They can do whatever they like.
It's not really easy. It's not like central bank
So
now.
please explain to us.
It's not really easy. We've had election preparation taken to the peak by Jega. And people have already been speculating that they want to remove Jega. They have already blackmailed Jega into postponing the election. If they now go to the next level, I can tell you,
this country of
there
impunity,
may not be
President, sir, let me take this call from Stephen. Good morning. Oh, I'm so sorry for keeping you.
Mariah, one question.
I wanted to come to Nima because I knew she was holding on.
Yes.
Jega conducted the 2011 elections, and even the president acknowledged that it was a free and fair elections. That shows that Jega has the credibility to conduct these elections free and fair. What are the fears that the president suddenly has now, that is making him doubt the integrity of Jega?
Well,
Because have they faulted him in any way?
Not about Jega, it's about security. Remember, Jega is not on trial
actually,
here. It is the security issue that is on
The
trial.
papers this morning I just read out that Jega's issue is on trial too.
Okay.
well, definitely, we've had this ahead of time that they will try to attack Jega. They've tried to approach him to do certain things to which he refused to bow.
Wow.
The man still has some element of integrity. He led ASU successfully, and he never messed up. So what has changed between 2011 and now is Buhari.
All right, let me pause you there. Let me take George's call. I don't want to lose this call again. Mr. George, are you there?
Yes, Mariah,
Please
good
go
morning.
ahead. Morning, go ahead.
The plot to scuttle this election, the president will have to take full responsibility if he plunges this country into fire. These same hot bellied generals in Abuja, they are there, and they know that there is a war in the Northeast. For 6 years, none of them is located in the Northeast. And a week to election, they are now reminding us that there are insecurity in some areas, and for that reason, elections cannot. It's just a plot to scuttle this democracy.
Okay.
And all of them will pay for it. They will not even succeed in the first place.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I'll take a quick break. When we come back, more on this topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I know Jumoke wanted to throw in something, but before you do, I'm going to go back to what Jumoke had earlier said, that this postponement might work against the ruling party because people are seeing it as unfair.
Desperation.
They're seeing it as desperation. They feel like, why are they going this far just to win an election? It's possible that those undecided votes, those swing votes, might actually swing towards GMB. If they do, peradventure, now, what do you think the PDP might concoct to win this election?
Well, some people are speculating that they may now resort to IBB formula of annulment.
Hell.
Like I said, they are just playing the card. I know the Americans that predicted that Nigeria may cease to exist by 2015. There must have been strong intelligence reports. And by the time the ruling class are now cooperating with that prediction, it will be rather unfortunate because personally I don't want Nigeria to disintegrate because our strength lies in our huge land mass and population. But if the people that are ruling us cannot do it well, Nigeria should not just leave it to them. We should endeavor to speak up.
Okay, I see something, and my fear is that there's just too much power at the center. Now, if the opposition also comes into power, they can exhibit some of these traits because you are the chief C, you have the audacity to order the military to go anywhere and wipe out a whole community and stuff like that. Shouldn't we start to look into reducing the power at the center And secondly, maybe reducing how much money there is in politics. It seems to be like a do or die affair now.
Let me, before you answer that, I have to take Hakim's call. I don't want to forget that call. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Please go ahead.
My name is Aaron from Abuja.
Go ahead.
You see, what I would want to believe now that initially the ruling party appointing activities to the opposition as the sponsor of Boko Haram. But some of us keep saying that this issue of Boko Haram is the working of the federal government in order to continue to be in power for a very long time. So you can now see that from the way they were coming up, with the idea of PCC, later with the issue of the savage saying they can't guarantee security. So absolutely, it is now shown to everybody that PDP or the federal government are behind the Boko Haram.
All right. Thank you so much.
What are the grounds? Because
let him answer my question.
Sorry,
About okay, Ajo.
We have a few seconds.
You know, what are the grounds of impeachment? For instance, if they say that certain things are not working, because what Jumoke is saying, decentralizing the power in the center, what are the grounds for impeachment? If any person in power is not doing what the people want, what do we need to hold on to say, okay, this is a ground for impeachment?
No, let me start from our question. We need restructuring. There's so much power at the center. And you see people killing themselves to go to the houses of, both houses of National Assembly, because an average House of Rep member earned more than Obama, the world's most powerful president.
True.
Yes. So we need, first of all, to deal with that. We need to, because the biggest business in Nigeria today, it's not oil business, but politics. So there's need for the state to have more resources, to have more power. So by that, we will now try to reduce concentration of power at the center. So it will make it less attractive. If you are a hero, be hero first and foremost to your people within your local government, then to the state, not just going to the center and mess up things.
All right, let me take some tips because we have to round up very quickly. Can I take some?
Loco says, why are they tagging people that have divergent views in the north as infidels? So many tic-tacs. Nigeria is deep. Felix Omovie says, I hope they will propose to remove Jegan now, because to them, PDP, everything seems to Jaga. I don't understand.
All right.
Obekwa says, all of a sudden, PDP want Jega to resign. This is a comedy movie. If they like, let JEJ become INEC chief, GMB all the way. MC Loco says, what is U.S. interests? Just asking. Forever United said, why then is the International Monetary Community scared of going to the northeast?
Okay, let me take two from Nima.
Kayode says, the problem here shows that there's a grand conspiracy to scuttle Nigeria's democracy by the PDP-led federal government. It's not a Jega issue at all. Ajetunmobi said, in fact, due to this 14th of February election date, my company has sent most of us home to reduce production. Wow. Gigi doesn't know he has caused something.
All right. We have to round up, but thank you so much. But I need to ask you a final question. As I said, GMB has asked everybody to stay calm. Peace. Even our president too has said, okay, everybody stay calm. Nobody should fight on this matter. But how do we protect our votes? Because March 28th, we hopefully go to the polls and select. Now, if Jonathan wins, if GMB wins, whoever, regardless of who wins, how do we ensure that our votes are protected?
Well, we have to do what the people of Osun did. In spite of the intimidation, as at that time they had about 30,000 soldiers fighting Boko Haram, and they deployed 75,000 to Osun alone.
Hell!
So we, in spite of that, the people of Osun refused to be intimidated. By the time they see the armored personnel carrier, they will raise their broom. If it gets to that, the powers that be will know that these Nigerians cannot be cowed. But I won't support us going to the street, because in anticipation of postponement, they've already deployed soldiers to the streets of the southwest. The soldier they could not deploy to the troubled area.
The same ones who could not guarantee security for elections.
Exactly. So we need just to hold on and continue to enlighten our people why they should embrace change, why they should collect their PVC and refuse to collect money.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
you being here. Don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast of this program at 11:30 p.m. tonight. You can also watch previous episodes by going to YouTube/TV Entertainment and search for Your View. Your vote is your right. Don't waste it. Use it wisely. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.